Another name that is not going to be in the portal is the record-setting quarterback at UTSA, Frank Harris, who does have a year of eligibility left, is announced that he will be back for the Roadrunners next season after leading that team to a Conference USA championship. This is obviously huge for Jeff Traylor, a coach that we like and talk about a lot here on this show. It comes with a new NIL deal, which kind of shows, as UTSA is making it splash in the American Athletic Conference, that UTSA is very, very much trying to be a player in one of the conferences that we view as being competitive for the sixth best conference in college football, which, for next year doesn't mean as much as it does when the playoff expands, but a great sign for UTSA. Were we surprised that Frank Harris didn't want to test the open market or show up somewhere else and all of a sudden be a starting quarterback in a power conference?
I am, because I think he can play. Like, he is a stud. We've seen a lot of them when I go to New York on the weekends and do the CBS Sports. We've seen a lot of UTSA game, including the championship game, which might have been his best performance of his career. I think he could have easily got more money from a Power 5 school. His game, he can throw it. He can run it. He makes great decisions. His teammates love him. I think this is another one of those good for college football. I think this is one where if he made it as a business decision, he might have gone somewhere else. I know Jeff Traylor's got to be absolutely thrilled. And I was thinking about this because I think what you said, Chip, is important. The fact that they are, because he's won back-to-back conference champion, Conference USA titles. So, what else is there to prove? Well, you're going to American, so you can win a different conference your first year there. So I think that entices him. I think he'll get more exposure. I don't know if he'll be in the Heisman conversation. Maybe he'll get more exposure for that conversation. I don't know if he has a realistic chance to win it, but he'll get more exposure. He'll get better airtime, and he'll get better competition. So if his end goal is to go to the NFL, I think it's a good move. I love it. I think he's a great kid. Everything's great about him. So I'm excited for him. And maybe he's impacted too, because I don't know what you guys hear in the coaching circles, but Jeff Traylor decided to stay at UTSA last year, did a 10-year deal. And I know a lot of people have taken 10-year deals and bounced, but the fact that Jeff Traylor's there with him, maybe that was a lead that he took. Hey, my coach wants to do something special. We do too.
So JJ Perez, who does a really nice job covering UTSA for 24/7 Sports, he actually reported that coach had an offer on the table as well this year to go to a Power 5 school and was seeking more money for his assistants. I agree with Danny. I think this is awesome for the sport. I mean, the guy was 27-7 touchdown interception ratio. That team was beat to hell with injuries this year, and he really carried them to that conference title, went for 500 something on the ground, another 8 scores there with the legs. And it shows a community banding together to run this thing back one more time. Like the city of San Antonio and the business owners there and the fans of the team are investing in their product, and they don't want to go level up to the American, which is a much better league than CUSA. Like, CUSA is pretty bad, honestly. Like, they don't want to go to the American and get embarrassed. And a great way to not get embarrassed is hold on to your coach, who's clearly pretty good, and hold on to your quarterback. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the entire country. It's cool. Like, just being able to get a guy to stay is good for the sport, I think. And with the NIL, you definitely have an option to. And maybe you get a hometown discount, right? Like, you say, hey, if you guys can get me close to what I can get on the open market, can you get me 1.2, right? That sounds like a lot, but the drop off between Frank Harris and whoever the heck UTSA could get behind him is huge. So the drop off's a lot too.
I don't know. I don't want to even plant seeds, but when I think of Frank Harris and a Hugh Freeze system, I'm like, man, Auburn should have backed up the truck, and maybe they did, but I think he would crush it in a system like that.
So instead of meep, you want the beep of the truck backing up.
That Hugh Freeze staff he's putting together, by the way, is kind of interesting. I don't know if you guys are taking a look at this, but it's I know there was some thought that there's coaches all over the country calling and trying to get in on that staff. I'm not saying they weren't calling, but it looks like he's just putting the band back together. Bunch of Liberty guys, bunch of former Ole Miss guys. Not like an all-star go pluck it and spend a bunch of money type cast there.
UTSA, go ahead.
was gonna say, I was kind of hoping Frank Harris would consider reuniting with his former offensive coordinator.
Ooh.
Ooh. Somebody in the chat asked if something vulgar would happen if Tom Fornelli found out Devin Leary was going to Illinois live on camera. Maybe make it happen and we can find out. UTSA next in the American Athletic Conference has Rice, UAB, USF, and ECU as the home games. The road games are North Texas, Tulane, FAU, and Temple. Again, very much a work in progress as we wrap our heads around what it's going to look like in the American Athletic Conference with a new
just quickly. Some of the names we've mentioned on here, we're talking about quarterbacks and getting the bag and getting paid. Think about how volatile the quarterback market is. The conference of quarterbacks, Devin Leary, Sam Hartman, DJ Uyunglele, who kind of came limping into the season, was very doubtful. Tyler Van Dyke, it is no certainty that you're going to parlay your success from 1 year into multiple years of success or a top 5 pick. So, if anybody ever gets mad at players for transferring or mad at them for taking the money while they can get it, there's a ton of examples of guys that have all these expectations of potential, and for whatever reason, things start to fall apart, and it can go south in a hurry.